لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله ما لنا رب سوى لا إله إلا الله.
I said that we lost the original version of these religions, and if someone who find the original version of these religions, he can follow it. But we know that
Even today,
even today,
I don't say this.
there are some evidences.
So if we have the original message of Prophet Musa and Isa is there, or original message of Prophet Isa and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there, still we can follow that.
Yes, but we know that from some obvious evidences that they lost a majority of that original version. So everybody, if he can find these scriptures, for example, that reveal the scriptures, he can follow, but he cannot find.
But I don't say like this. I say, even if we had today the original message of Prophet Musa or Prophet Isa, and you can find the message of Islam, you must follow Islam. But if someone, for some reason, was not able to find Islam, then he might be excused. He is not justified. He might be excused. But what you say, it means that he is justified to follow that religion. But it was good that you said this, because this made my position clear. That I am not saying that still you can follow any of those religions, even if you have the original version. In other words, let me tell like this. If today Prophet Isa was living among us, of course he's alive, yeah, but he's not living among us. If today he was living among us, he should have followed the Prophet of Islam. No, that's another issue. No. Indeed, his knowledge of Islam would be much more than the knowledge of our ulama of Islam. If Isa was here, his knowledge was more than our ulama. And Anbiya Bani Israel.
What you are mentioning is not merely from this verse. And this verse says that everybody can follow them, he will be saved.
No. Amana billah, we said if he has faith in God and submission to God, and he knows that God has sent a new message. Even if new doesn't mean that it is completely different. But still, when God sends a new message, so you should go after it.
There is no the name of Islam in this verse. الذين هادوا والنصارى والصابئين
إن الذين آمنوا
إن الذين آمنوا والذين
هادوا والنصارى والصابئين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا.
When new message is not there is not any refer to.
I think if you and people like Mr. Almasi and Monib, if you have a good discussion, it is very helpful, because then both of you come to my position. This is the middle way. Yes. You have question? Yes.
If we believe that Islam is true religion,
Yes.
but fear that, for example, if there's someone who finds the real scripture of Judaism or Christianity and have the message of Islam, if we follow that religion, he consequently comes to Islam. Okay, so we don't have to say, for example, he must believe in Islam. If we believe on Christianity, on real Christianity, he comes to believe believing Islam.
So before coming to Islam, is his position okay or not?
According to this verse,
If he's
It's
after
okay.
truth, yes, it is.
Oh, if it is after truth, that's another thing. But if you say that, because he says, this is the truth, you can follow Judaism, Christianity, Islam, or any religion, any Sharia which was there, if you have access to its original form. Even, for example, before Torah, there were many other books. Okay? Your idea is that if you could have access to any of them, would be acceptable. And I say no. I say, you may be excused, but whenever God sends a new message, you should try to find the last one. And if maybe some of you were in the sessions we had about Nur, about light, that Quran, when talks about divine books, uses singular version. جاءتهم رسلهم بالبينات والزبر والكتاب المنير. Not والكتب المنيرة. قل يا أهل الكتاب, not يا أهل الكتب. What does it mean in my understanding? It means that we have only one book, but different editions. Suppose you have a textbook on biology. It has 10 editions. Yeah? But you have always go to the last edition. It's one book. But you have always go to the last edition. This is very important. Again, this is in line with what we said today. We don't have different, substantially different messages. We have one message, but with differences. And those differences are important. So you should try to find the latest edition, the latest version. Okay? This is very important. One book, but versions or different editions.
What do you mean by this phrase that you said they will be excused before Allah Ta'ala?
Might be.
Might be.
They might be excused, it means they might be ma'zur.
They will not.
Ma'zur means that there is a problem. But you might have an excuse. But justified means there is no problem. You are justified. You are muwajjah. Okay? So there is a difference.
this is not
They
more
will not be
than
punished by Allah.
this is not more than pluralism in salvation.
Yeah.
So you want to say a point more than that, I think.
No, the amount of pluralism that we accept is this, salvation. But the other point that we mentioned has nothing to do with pluralism.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I excuse you, not I justify you. Yeah. No, I justify you. Okay.
Justify senses. You can say they will not punished by Allah in the hereafter.
Inshallah.
They will be rewarded by Allah or not.
Yes. فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. If they are excused,
You can say their situation in the hereafter is equal, for example, with me
no.
as a follower of
No.
Islam.
Even believers in Islam, they don't have equal situation.
Because
Even believers in the same religion, they don't have equal situation. How can I say believers in different religions? Maybe some of them, they have better situation than some Muslims. To make you angry. You know?
Yes, like
So it's not that every person who believes in one religion is going to be given the same amount of reward that people from the same religion or other religions are being given. There are different ranks in heaven.
sorry, there's a paradox.
Even maybe, for example, a Muslim might be going to heaven, a Muslim might be going to hell. There is no guarantee. Yeah? in the discussion about shafa'ah, we said that even the believers who receive shafa'ah, they might be receiving shafa'ah at very last minute before going to hell, or even they are put in hell and they are released. We had this discussion. And those are mu'mineen, that after being put in hell, they can receive shafa'ah and be released. So there can be mu'mineen who remain because they don't have the qualifications for receiving shafa'ah. فَمَا تَنْفَعُهُمْ شَفَاعَةُ الشَّافِعِينَ. Yes.
I think there is
It is good that you think. It's very good.
there is paradox, you know. Some sentences of you refers to the pluralism in salvation, because you say they are excused.
Might
But-
be. They might be.
No. And in other sentences you say that they are in true way a light, and there is a unified light. Yeah, and this is pluralism in right. In
There is.
truthness, you know.
I didn't say they are equally true.
Not completely, but
They have a share.
Even I said to his idea, in answer, reply to his idea, that I don't believe that.
So why they should be converted to Islam?
yes,
They
For the same reason. Because you have to follow always the last version, the last edition of the message.
They have faith in God, believe in God.
It's impossible if you want to please God. Yeah, if you want to please God, one. And if you know that God has a newer message, it's impossible then you say, I don't bother. So either you don't submit yourself to God, this is a problem. Or you submit yourself to God, but you don't know, this can be an excuse. There is no excuse for having no submission. Okay, this is the summary of what we discussed. If you don't have submission to God, there is no excuse. But if you have submission to God for other things, there might be excuses. Whether there is or not, it's up to God. I cannot decide.
Submission, but they don't believe in God. They believe in Jesus, for example. Like most of
There is submission to God.
their submission to God. Why? They don't believe in one God. They believe in Jesus as a God.
No, they believe in one God, but their understanding of oneness of God can be problematic.
So they say Jesus is God. And
No.
what's the meaning?
Quran doesn't consider Christians as mushrikeen. No. We explained this before.
They don't believe in God.
We explained this before in the same room. In the same room, we explained that لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ means this idea is the idea of kufr, not that the people are kafir. And if you remember, Allama Tabatabai very clearly said that in the Quran, kufr in most of the places means afari. Yes.
What's the meaning of should? They must to believe in. They must believe in the version two, this version of Quran, or they. It is better for them.
No, they have to believe in the latest version. And if they don't believe, if they have excuse, they can be excused. But if they don't have excuse, it's not accepted.
The appearance of this verse doesn't say anything about the last version. The appearance is all there. Doesn't
No.
say anything.
Because it says man amana. So all together must come to one point. Must come. It doesn't say إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابئين الذين يؤمنون بالله and so forth. They would have this.
All of them.
All these four, they must come under one category. What is that one category? آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالح. This is the main thing. Is there faith in God and the hereafter and righteous deed or not?
The Christian, without believing in Quran and Islam, are in this category.
Can be, yes. Yes, can.
This is a kind of pluralism too.
Not plural. No, it's not in truth. This is salvation. فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِم. Pardon?
I think that you are very close to pluralism.
Which type of pluralism?
Because they say
Pluralism of salvation or pluralism of truth?
salvation.
No. Yes, salvation, yes, but salvation is not a problem. This is Imam Sadiq's view.
And we should
What is my fault? This is the view of Imam Sadiq. This is not my fault.
He said that by believing in salvation.
I don't have problem with this.
There are too many verses in the Quran. That
Not too many, enough.
many that contains the word Islam. What do we mean by Islam?
Uh-huh.
The verses "Ama yuridu Allah an
Good question.
yashrahu sadrahu lil Islam wa raditu lakum al-Islam dinan wa man yabghi ghayra al-Islam fala yuqbal minhu kafaru ba'da islamihim qul la tamannu ala islamikum." What Islam is a special religion, or Islam is just submission? And what it seems that it's not just submission. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, it may be would be another.
Islam sometimes is used in a narrower sense, and that is Islam with capital I, and sometimes Islam is with a small I. When Prophet Ibrahim said he is Muslim, when Prophet Ya'qub said La tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun, what does it mean?
Was Islam at the age of Prophet outcome?
So the point that we said was that it's one religion. This Islam and that Islam are not two religions. This is one religion. This is very important. We have one religion.
And our Prophet
Your idea is that you think Islam of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is a religion different from previous religions. But I understand it in different way. I say it was only one religion. But over time, this religion had different teachers, different additions, different versions, yeah. But it's one religion, one God, one religion. And this is why we have to believe in all the prophets. We have to believe in all the books. Yeah? آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وكتبه ورسله. Why I should believe in Torah? لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. Because this is one God, one religion. Yes.
Excuse me. I can say this part, the definition of religion is so important, because when you say religion, so it's including, for example, some principles of a religion, some laws and some morality. Yes, all religions are in common in morality and belief, principles and beliefs. But we have problem with laws, the laws of Jewish people and Christians and us.
And this is why we have to follow the latest edition.
So,
For example,
it's not one. So religion is not one.
no, religion is one.
Are different only in laws.
No, this doesn't make religions different. Like, for example, we follow fiqh of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Okay? But can I follow now the fatwas of Sheikh Ansari? No. I have to follow the latest edition, the best understanding of the fiqh of Imam Sadiq. The best is the latest one. Okay? You cannot say this is a new fiqh. It's not a new fiqh. All ulama have tried to find out the view of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Yeah, so this is gradually updated or is completed, whatever you want to call it, but it's one religion. If all the prophets today were, living together, they didn't have different religions. They had only one religion.
What you say?
And this also helps you to understand another issue. Okay, I don't want to enter into that discussion. Very briefly, there is a question why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before Islam was not a Christian? There's a question.
Because the Christianity was
Why there is question? Or this is the question.
because the Christianity was local, not global.
Pardon?
Maybe it was local, not global.
No. Why he was not a Jew? Okay, there is a question. If you believe that Judaism is a religion totally different from religion of Prophet Ibrahim, or Christianity is a religion totally different from Judaism, then it would be very difficult for you to answer this question. Okay? But if you believe, as we explained, that this is one religion, and the differences are differences within one religion, then maybe one teacher, one prophet, one messenger, his message is so much changed that you can refer to a previous teacher and be closer to that even latest prophet. So I believe this is very important sentence. If you like it, you can write it with gold. If you don't like it, with silver. I believe Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was more Christian than the Christians of his time. Think about it. Let it settle. He had more faith and commitment to Jesus than Christians of his time. Because Christians of his time had part of his message, but unfortunately, they had lots of other things added to Christianity. So, if Prophet was going to introduce himself as a Christian of that age, he would be much more farther from real message of Jesus. In other words, by being still a follower of Ibrahim, you could be closer to that book of God, to that message of God. Think about it. Let it just remain in your mind for a week.
Without thinking, I say
No, without thinking, no. I said it's good you think. Without thinking.
no.
No, please, think about it. Whether you accept it or not, it's to you. But this is a very important question. Why Prophet of Islam was not a Christian? Why he was not a Jew?
Who says he was not?
Huh?
Who says he was not?
You say he was a Christian?
According to the definition that you gave, I think.
No, Christian in the sense that historically was understood. Yes, in my understanding, they are the same.
For example, he was not baptized, for example.
He didn't go to any church. He didn't carry cross. He didn't carry a cross. He didn't say, in the name of God, the Father, the Holy Spirit. But I believe he was closer to Jesus Christ than the Christians of that time. This is very important.
Criteria is the Deen Hanif.
What you say is true about the global religions, not local. And Christianity, I think, was a local for Bani Israel.
This is one view.
Yes, but the criteria is true. Because the local religions has their conditions and limitations. Because of that, I think...
I have problem with this view.
Quran says, Millata Abikum Ibrahim, yes. But didn't say about...
So I have a question. If you say the message of Prophet Isa was only for Bani Israel, so we have, for example, Jerusalem. Prophet Isa is in this town, and we have Bani Israel, and we have someone who is not Bani Israel. So a prophet of God like Isa is there, and he says, I don't follow you because I am not from your ethnicity. And Prophet Isa also says, I don't bother about guiding you because my mission is only for Bani Israel. It doesn't make sense.
When I say Bani Israel, I mean the area. Because of that...
No, this is a new definition of Bani Israel. Rasulan ila Bani Israel. If you want to just focus on that verse, so even someone who is neighbor of Bani Israel is not Bani Israel.
Because of that, the Prophet of Islam was a Hanif, not Christian.
No, it's not because of that. It's because of what I said.
A real Christian is Hanif.
The last
If-
religion
if-
was Christian.
If Prophet Isa's message had remained in its original version, definitely Prophet Muhammad was a Christian. If it had remained. But there were so many changes that to remain under Ibrahim was still closer.
Maybe in Hanif was there are some changes. You know,
Yes.
there is a claim.
The changes, the Prophet didn't go for those changes. Because the people of Mecca, they had initially the religion of Ibrahim, but they went through deviations. The Prophet didn't go to those deviations. But still, it was easy for him to associate himself to Ibrahim than associating himself to Jesus.
Discussion can be related to the knowledge of Prophet ﷺ before his mission, starting his mission. Because in some of the historians said that when Prophet ﷺ got the revelation, at the first he was very scared, and one of the relatives of Khadija said,
That-
no, don't be scared.
That is not our view. We don't accept that.
So in that way, you don't need to say that Prophet, for example, before Prophet was true seeker person, not for example.
So if you say this, it means again, what I said is correct. Because that is the main thing, submission to God. There is no way to escape, you know. Either you have to say submission to God, seeking the truth is the main thing. Or you have to say, you have to find out which message was closer to the latest message. So you have to come to the same point.
You know, but according to some religions and
Yeah.
some other Islamic scholars, like for example, I remember Mirza Qawmi in his book Qawmi, he said our Prophet acted according to Islam, to his religion, from the first day of, for example, when he was.
So he was fasting before Islam?
He said yes, because he said because he was.
Who said this?
Mirza Qawmi said.
Yeah.
He said because.
No,
our
I mean
Prophet is
on
higher.
what basis he said this?
Because he said because our
Is there any historical record that the Prophet used to fast months of Ramadan before Islam?
because he said our Prophet was higher.
Even Allah says to him, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ.
Because he said his basis is because he said Holy Prophet was higher than Jesus Christ, and because of that he had not followed Jesus Christ because he was higher. You know, and because of this reason,
Before becoming a prophet was higher?
yes,
No.
because he was infallible, and in his infallibility he was higher than other prophets, and because of that he had not
No.
follow any of
Yeah,
the other
so this is not based on any hadith or any verse.
It's theologian.
This is his argument. We kiss his hand and we don't accept his argument.
We have to.
I don't accept, this idea that Prophet, he has made some claim, then he has to follow it. I don't accept that Prophet of Islam was observing all the requirements of Islamic Sharia from the age of 15. There is no reason for that.
Because they believe in.
Pardon?
Dataset has no meaning in this way.
Yeah.
They believe in Quran and Zali, and they believe that Quran and Zali was before than Quran Tanzili and before prophethood.
That's another issue.
Even
When you have Quran, so you have a
Our
law.
Prophet wasn't 30,
Pardon?
Imam Ali was knowing Quran when he was born. He was knowing and not
According to some,
That is another issue.
It means that Prophet should be known the Quran.
That's another issue. These are different attitudes, different perspectives. You shouldn't mix them up. One way is to look at them from the perspective of Nuraniyah. That's another. Our problem is that unfortunately these things are, mixed. But the way that we have to understand them according to the Quran is what can be understandable for a person with common sense, with knowledge of the Quran and aql. Those things are looking from another perspective.
You mentioned what's the best of it? Is there only, there is no hadith, no...
There is no reason to say that the Prophet was, no valid reason to say that the Prophet was observing all the some 50 books of fiqh before he became a prophet. Kitab al-Tahara, Kitab al-Sawm, Kitab al-Salat, Kitab al-Zakat, Kitab al-Hajj. For example, the Prophet was doing Hajj according to Islamic Sharia before Islam. He was fasting 30 days of months of Ramadan.
Why not? Because we have about...
I say there is no reason. Don't say why not. Don't say why yes.
Because about...
Why do you claim this?
About Prophet Jesus Christ we have...
Because what we have is that these were gradually legislated.
Yes, but about the Ummah, not about Prophet himself. Because about Jesus Christ we have, he got the book when he was baby. So what is not possible for our Prophet?
No, that's another issue.
I think we have...
First of all, when he says, وَآتَانِيَ الْكِتَابِ, it doesn't mean that now I am a prophet. Second, even if it was the case for the Prophet Isa, okay, because you think that Atani al-Kitab is the past tense. It's not past tense. It shows that there's a fact. It doesn't talk about the time. You shouldn't think that when he was born, he said Atani al-Kitab means when I was in the womb of my mother, I was given the book and I was a prophet. We don't need a prophet in the womb of mother. This shows the fact. Awsani bis-salati waz-zakat. Where? Awsani bis-salati waz-zakat. No, this shows that it's the fact. But even if we say Prophet Isa was a prophet at the time of birth, our prophet was a prophet and became a prophet at the age of 40. So you have to make a distinction between Nubuwwah, Bi'sa, period, and before that. If you say the Prophet was observing all the requirements of Islam, all the Sharia, all the details before, so you are removing this kind of line between Bi'sa and period before Bi'sa. My request is this. It's not easy for you to accept. At least remember. You can remember, but I don't expect you to accept it. In your understanding of religion, especially in presentation of religion, maybe you understand it in a special way. I don't want to focus that much. But at least, if you don't understand it in this way, at least when you want to teach religion, when you want to present religion, just follow the bayyinat. Just follow the Quran and aql and ahadith mutawatir. Don't go into this type of issues, because this will confuse yourself and will confuse other people and will weaken your position. We have to always follow the teachings of the Quran and add something that it's possible to convey to people. If I want to say that our prophet was a prophet several thousand years ago, before Prophet Adam was born, he was a prophet. Okay, I don't deny that. But that is another way of understanding the world. This is not the way we are supposed to preach. This is not the way the Prophet himself was preaching. Why I should bring a new method? I want to teach Islam in the way that the Prophet was teaching the people in Mecca and Medina. This is my mission. For yourself, whatever you want to have, it's up to you. But in teaching Islam, in writing about Islam, please just follow this method. It's very important.
In every religion we can find this kind of mysterious story.
Okay. Do you want him to finish or you want to
Start.
He was first? Okay. Yeah, okay. Please. About? Ah.
He witnessed and confirms that Islam is true, the
Quran is true, but I find Christianity the best way to serve the people and serve the world. Okay, I don't deny Islam, I don't deny the Prophet, but I think the way that I do my mission via this way that people have accepted me is the best way, so I can serve the people of others. How about this position and this attitude?
So is he really committed to the truth and he believes this, or he's not committed to the truth? Yeah, it's up to Allah. If Allah finds in his heart sincerity, commitment, submission to the truth, and he thinks that Christianity is better, it's up to Allah. The main thing is submission must be there. This is according to our theology as well. Not every theologian, but this is our hadith, this is our theology. This is Jahil Qasir.
According to your pluralism.
It's not my pluralism. It is what they call pluralism in salvation, which is acceptable according to our standards. This is very, as I said last week, it's very delicate issue. If you are not careful, either you go into this extreme or that extreme, you know. So, very delicate issue.
Middle way.
This is the middle way. I am exactly in the middle. Okay.
So how about that talking to this person?
Pardon?
Talking to these kind of people.
Yes,
So don't have-
please keep talking to them, yes.
No, I want to they don't have any technologies and any bias or anything. So how about that missionary perspective behind the scene that we have in our mind? And we have some argumentation or demonstrations in the public.
That is another issue. How should we present Islam to them? How should we, for example, invite them, or we shouldn't invite them? These are other issues.
About my feeling that I have. You said the feeling is very important.
Yeah, so you should assume that he is really what he says. If he says, I love God, I am submitted to God, so trust. But trust doesn't mean that you follow him. Trust means you respect, you love, you try to be good friends. But how can we trust even people of our own society? When you see someone, does it mean that he's really a good person? No. We have to assume that what people say is true, unless it is proved otherwise.
So we can play that and say that you are
You know, one of the qualities of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was he was not questioning people, although he had access to the hidden knowledge. But if someone was going to him and said, I had this excuse, he said, okay. He doesn't, question people. Although khayran.
Can we say in our time to do that? In our belief you are the person of salvation and justification.
You shouldn't say this for a particular person, because it's,
That person that you mentioned,
you can say in general that if a believer in God and the hereafter does righteous deeds and he's really submissive to God and tries to find the truth, he would have salvation, inshallah. But I cannot guarantee this for any particular person.
so the sentencing of this
Islamically, even we cannot guarantee for people are very respected that they are definitely going to be in heaven. We have to let these things be decided by God. So if there is a person that we really love him, but Allah knows, maybe there is something hidden that we don't know. Allahumma ashhad ba'anna la na'lamu minhu illa khayr. But some of us speak of some dead, people as if we know that there was no bad, thing. How can we know this? Yeah? Sometimes, we speak as if that he's right now in heaven. We don't know.
About the mixture of this question with the previous factor of intercession, is it possible to mention, for example, a Christian convert bishop can intercede, for example, sinful Muslim or sinful person?
We have enough.
What the intercession of this group to other group? This religion.
We should accept with reason and reject with reason. So if you have some reason for something, you accept. If you don't have reason, you keep silent. You don't need to judge about everything. When you judge and make a position, you have to be answerable to God. Why you said yes or no? But if you don't know, you say, I don't know. Okay? And even those things that you know, you don't need to tell all of them. So you have to have a reason to believe in something, and you have to have a second reason to say what you believe. Because sometimes you know something, but you are not supposed to say. So for believing in something and for saying what you believe in, you need reasons. Yes? I think he was before you, yeah? Okay, you and he.
He was home before you.
Yes.
I want to say that in another subject, I want to say that in every religion we can find some levels of knowledge. For example, some of them are mysterious and mystical sphere. So we should not say all of them in our promotion, in our preaching activities. You mentioned about the likening status of infallible imams, and I said that this kind of knowledge are in every religion, in hidden part of that religion, in mystical knowledge, mystical.
So what is your conclusion?
In our propagation, we should not follow and
focus on this.
Yes, focus on them.
So you are Mu'ayyad?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Maddahi.
Alhamdulillah, your idea about use of Abrahamic Judaism, followers of Abrahamic Judaism is somewhat clear. But what about those who are not in these religions, who don't do this or agnosticism? And that by accidentally they have born in a family that they are not, for example, they are not Muslim or Jewish. I'm talking about practical world. I'm talking about the people that live in this world. Usually they say that we have Mustazafin, okay. And it seems to be that Mustazafin are those people who are living in the jungles in the Amazon who have not heard about Islam at all.
No.
But sometimes people say, even our friends, they say, oh no, these people have heard about Islam because in the media, in the news, they have heard about Islam, they have heard the name Muhammad or Islam or something like that. What is your idea about these people? Can you justify? I know that Sheikh is Azim, and the government Azim, I know that Sheikh, for example, is a great singer. But
then we will come to the atheists, inshallah.
Yeah, he said already atheist. I believe that to enter heaven, you need faith in God and the hereafter and righteous deeds. But if they don't have faith in God and they have some excuse, maybe they don't go to hell. Allah may forgive them, like Khatam Ta'i, for example. But to enter heaven, my understanding up to today, and in the last maybe 20 years, is that they have to have faith in God and the hereafter and righteousness. This verse for me is very important. Man amana billah wal yawm al akhir wa amila salihan. But it doesn't mean that if someone doesn't go to heaven, must go to hell.
So they can argue that they had no chance to go to heaven.
So if they are excused, this is the
They
what?
can.
No, if they have excuse, they will not be punished.
So this is not chance for them to be in heaven and to benefit from heaven.
This
They can argue against Allah.
no, they cannot because no one has any right over God. First, second, maybe you can say, I don't say this necessarily, but maybe someone can say, if there is such a person that who is really, sincerely seeking the truth, most of the time they will find a way towards the truth. Yeah? Because God completes the whole truth. And if for some reason, because the society is corrupt, parents, upbringing, education, everything, helped so that this person had no access, okay. We cannot put people in heaven by force, but he doesn't receive punishment. And he doesn't have a right for, going to heaven. No one has a right for going to heaven over God.
But this is possible to go to heaven.
If he believes in God. My understanding up to today is this, that a requirement for entering heaven is Iman billah wal yawm al-akhir wa amal salih. If it is only amal salih, is not enough.
Nobody have any right over Allah. It's not justice that I have this chance, but he doesn't.
There is no problem with justice. If I give you 1 million tuman and I don't give to another person next to you any money, this is not a question of justice. It's a question of wisdom. You cannot question my justice because none of you has right over me. I want to give to someone and don't give to others. This is not a question of justice. This is a question that you can ask if you are a wise person, why there is this difference. Okay, so the question of wisdom. And the wisdom is very clear here because God the Almighty has created a system. In this system, your parents, your environment, upbringing, everything is important. So maybe everything helps so that one person remains ignorant. So this can explain. You cannot question God and say, why you don't send prophet to every person? But what is important is that God the Almighty does not expect from this person too much. If he does what he can, understand, Allah would accept. Maybe he gives him something in dunya, maybe he forgives his sins, maybe he doesn't go to hell.
My mind accepted, but
My heart.
Inshallah, your heart will accept. Inshallah.
Isn't it that all the whole verse of Quran, not just this verse?
Of course.
We have some verse that Prophet invite them to curse them, to mubahala, something like this. And
So-
say, if you want
so
to
you are
be
not
Christian, you should take
following the whole
your
Quran.
arm.
You are not considering the whole Quran. You only focus on some verses of the Quran.
So that verses can limit this verse
No.
and explain our treating with how we can treat with them. Sometimes we should curse them. Sometimes we should discuss with them. Sometimes we should take some jizya and wahum sagarun. They had some. It's the treatment of Prophet at that time, as you mentioned in Mecca and Medina, Prophet has some treatment with them. If you have a methodology, then you know how to deal with these verses. If you want to give a speech and excite people, yes, you can, put these verses together and, people, may accept what you say. But we need a methodology.
for methodology, we have to find out which verse is dealing with what aspect. None of the verses that you mentioned questions the idea that if a person is really submissive to God and he has not been able to find the truth, he is going to hell.
So why we should invite them to Mubahila? If it goes to heaven and it doesn't mean to...
That's different. Those were the people who questioned the Prophet. And after all the arguments that the Prophet brought for them and seeing all the miracles, they didn't want to accept. And that was the last choice of the Prophet. Even the first time Prophet didn't say to them. Even when it is interesting, when they came to Medina, when they went to Medina, they wanted to say their prayer inside Masjid al-Nabi. And some Muslims said no. We cannot let them pray in the masjid. And the Prophet said yes. What do you understand from this? So the Prophet didn't say, no, let's first do Mubahila. If you remain alive, then you can. So, Mubahila is for some people, and that was the last stage. When nothing was helping. They didn't listen to any argument.
No, we have also verses, I don't mention it.
Yes.
Because don't close to him, to them, don't be close to him or be friend with them.
A person who has seen the Prophet, has seen his miracles, has had argument with the Prophet, is different from a person who, after 14 centuries, has heard the name of Islam and also has heard many things, bad things about Islam.
Needs to be terrorism. Not Islam.
Yes.
Even advise us to think
away
from them.
Imagine if you yourself were not a Muslim. Okay? And you hear all the things that is happening in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Syria, what impression you would get from Islam? If you were not a Muslim, you wouldn't understand, oh, these are not true Muslims. You think this is what Muslims are doing? But because we are Muslims, we have knowledge, we know that these are not good Muslims. Yeah? But this is not the way that a person who is not a Muslim can understand. In the same way that, if you have problems with some people from another school of Islam, you think that all of them are like this. This is not the case. You shouldn't think that all the people who are not from our school, they are the same.
The Jews, the impression we have from for the Jews, whenever we hear the name of Judaism, we hear it from the word Zionism, so there are sort of mixed.
There are many good Jewish people as well. Many good Christian people, many non-Shia Muslims. We should not be judgmental. Yeah. Yes, exactly. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. No. This was the topic of our session. Otherwise, this is a result of many years of thinking and reflection. It's not just something that came to my mind, before coming to the class. Yes, we want to also study something. Yes.
I have a question about this discussion, but according to our discussion, we can understand these 3 points you mentioned in this verse that you mentioned, believe in God and the day of resurrection and the righteous deed is more important than we are that which religion do we follow. Yes, so it is not important which religion do we follow. It is important to act.
No, this is wrong. Don't say it's not important which religion you follow.
Why?
It's important.
What if we
I never said it is not important which religion you follow.
Conclusion of brothers from your
No, the difference between rukn and wajib, right at the beginning I've said, even those wajib which are not rukn, they are wajib. You cannot say they are not important.
You said the last edition must be followed.
Yes. So it's important which religion you follow. But the most fundamental things are these three. So it's not that everything in religion has the same significance. For example, maybe we have 100 things to believe in. Okay? Articles of faith. Yeah, we call it articles of faith. So say we have 100. Does it mean that all 100 are the same? For example, if Tawheed is there, I think if Tawheed is there, this is my understanding. Although Tawheed might be one of 100, but it is not 1%. Suppose you have 100 articles of faith and Tawheed the first one. But Tawheed, in my understanding, is 70%, 60%. Tawheed is such an important thing. Okay? So everything is important. Last week, I think it was here, I said, we are ready to give our life even for one ruling of fiqh. Yeah, if someone says, for example, we shouldn't say salat, for example, or we shouldn't, give zakat. And if by giving our life we can preserve this ruling, we have to. But this doesn't mean that the value of one fiqh issue is the value of one usul ad-din. So you have to understand that there are different levels. Yes. You have a question?
I wonder, this idea you mentioned lead to the idea that none of the deeds or moral actions is our worth in nature.
Is
our worth in nature.
Worth?
Yes.
None of
these good deeds
of whom?
are those who do not believe in Allah and His judgment.
No, we didn't say that. I said Allah may reward them in dunya or may just save them from hell if they have righteous deeds. If they have amal salih. Like I said, Hatam Ta'i. Hatam Ta'i had some good actions.
But saving them from hell, is not a reward.
It's a reward.
No, they weren't aware of such rulings. We said these are jahil qasid, not muqassid. So if they are qasid, they are not, prone to go to hell. They deserve to be out of the hell. But we don't.
Because they are qasir.
Because they are qasid. So it's not a reward to be out of the hell.
No, this is a reward. Yes. Why? What you mean by reward? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't treat Hatam Ta'i the same as another mushrik who didn't have these good actions? Because Allah is taking into account his good action, his good qualities. This is the reward. This is a kind of privilege, a kind of preference that Allah gives to the people who have some good actions or good qualities. Yeah. But giving reward doesn't mean that you have to give them everything. You give them as much as possible. Going to heaven, I repeat again, according to my understanding up to today, for many years of reflection, is in my understanding in need of having iman billah wal yawm al akhir wa amal salih. I have not been able to find a convincing argument to say atheists who are ignorant, for example, can go to heaven. But if you have something, I accept. Because I want, to accept everything which Allah is, telling us. I don't want to bring something from my pocket. This is what I understand up to today. And I pray that Allah guides everyone, and everyone who is possible to go to heaven, inshallah, goes to heaven. This is our desire. But what I can convince myself today is that Iman billah wal yawm al-akhir wa amal al-salih is needed.
What we want to tell who believe in God and did do good deeds, but they don't convince with the day of resurrection. They are submitted to God. They believe in God, but they don't believe in resurrection, the day of resurrection.
I am not convinced about them going to heaven.
Like some Jews.
They are submitted to God.
آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا. More than this, I don't say no, but I don't have any reason to believe in that.
Even they are submitted to God.
Yes. If they are really submitted to God, they should believe in the hereafter.
They don't convince us. They can convince themselves.
I leave it to Allah Himself.
Excuse me.
If you have some argument, we can
No.
discuss and we can study. I'm happy. If you also have some argument, please, bring. We can discuss. We are open for any arguments, any good things to bring to broaden the chance.
We have to raise issue discussion that as a among the later ones have this argument in the Makasir. So everybody who follows his path, he goes to heaven. Even the people who don't believe in God and the resurrection, but
He says they go to heaven.
they are ma'azur.
Ma'azur is different. Ma'azur, so they are not punished. But it doesn't say they go to heaven.
The same thing that we said about these people.
Excuse me, as a conclusion for me.
Because I am not yet, martyred, so they don't accept what I say. If I'm killed, then you accept. Yes.
It says the same thing about the Christians and Jews. What I got from that's...
No, he first said something, but I don't think this is what Imam is saying. Imam is saying the same thing that we say. Yes.
As a conclusion for me about your things, there's a conclusion, there's a ambiguity that if you are trying to argue about a kind of pluralism in salvation, there is
no problem.
Most of theologians, I think, are agree with this point of view. But while you are trying to argue in this regard, that it shows that you want to say something more than, and if you want to say something more than, it starts to, I think, to pluralism, truth, or exclusivism. Maybe hidden Muslims. These are silent Muslims, hidden Muslims. Maybe, I think.
With maybe, I cannot accept, if you have argument.
Yeah, I think if you want to say something more than pluralism.
I want to say what I said. So what is wrong with that?
What you said is kind of pluralism in salvation.
Everything I said. What is wrong with that?
answer my question.
No, because I don't want to repeat, 3 sessions.
No.
You say this idea that you said is wrong. So I can then listen. But you ask me what you say, so then I have to repeat everything.
Listen.
Yes. So which part you have problem with? Which part of my ideas you have problem with?
All parts.
And if you have problem, then why? What is your argument against that part that you have problem with?
What you say is more than the pluralism salvation says.
Okay, what names are not important for me. Which part you have problem with?
I think I smell I made from you the kind of truthness that they believe about their belief.
I said there is some truth in them, but I didn't say it's completely true. And I didn't say they are able to follow their own religion, even if they can find the best religion.
Not as a best religion, but as a religion.
If they have excuse. if they have excuse, if they are jahil qasir. I don't say what I say is odd, I think this is what most of our ulama say, but maybe they don't put it in this way. Maybe they don't make it clear. Otherwise, I don't think this is strange.
We didn't need to, I think, spend 2 sessions for this on.
Well, you kept asking me questions. So it is good that after several sessions, now you say it is clear. Alhamdulillah. So,
Could you speak about the paradise before the start, about the religion of Prophet next session or the question that you mentioned?
no, I think what we said is enough.
You must bring about it.
Yes, if you have something then about it, you can mention. What I wanted to say, I said. Yes.
I think we covered all the related issues in this subject.
Alhamdulillah.
The thing which comes to my mind is the question that Mr. Matei raised. We said about the people who are living in the Amazon jungle, or the people had no access to any tools.
And many towns are also jungles.
What would be the what would be the position in the after this, on the barzakh, the time they are waiting to the judgment day?
In barzakh, it seems that the average people would be like in the state of sleeping. Those who are very good and those who are very bad, their hell and heaven start. Okay? But those who are in middle, they would be in the state of like sleeping.
Without any torture or?
Pardon?
Without any torture?
Yes. How can you sleep if you are tortured?